This is your choice. Your break. Thanks, guys. I wish you a good game. No well there. Yep. Ready when you are. Your first frame.
Well, for Judd Trump, it's a case of how do you improve upon perfection, because that's what he produced in that magnificent display against China's teenager Gao Yang. The 5th 147 of his career, 2 other centuries. He did not put a foot wrong. Can he replicate that sort of form again today? Luca Brecel certainly poses a threat. A former ranking event winner, and as Alan mentioned, returned to form with his victory in the non-ranking Championship League, the first big event back after the lockdown, to prove that his game is intact. But in terms of ranking events, he has struggled a bit since he won the China Championship in Guangzhou 3 years ago. So much so that he's fallen from world number 11 down to 32. So definitely Joe needs to find a bit more consistency in these big ranking events.
Yeah, but as the boys were saying, he's got tons of ability. And he is brave, he does take his shots on, and that's what you've got to do. So, yeah, I expect him to get back into the top 16. He's young enough, he's only 25. So, he's got plenty of chances. As Jimmy was saying, that they're playing nearly every week. So, one good run in a tournament, and he could be right back up there. 32 isn't too bad in this day and age, but that's not a good safety. Be able to pop this red to the middle and hold for the black. In fact, if he runs it through past those 2 reds, he'd be on the black still, but he wouldn't leave anything. May try and stun it, but running it is an easier shot. Yeah, if he drops it in with topspin, I think he gets that shot, but because he played it with stun to avoid leaving the reds on, he's missed the red. So an early chance for Brecel.
1.
He's not had much joy against Trump in the past. Won just one of their previous 8 meetings, albeit that was by whitewash in the Champion of Champions. So you would think a good start is vital.
No.
So can't quite get back to the black.
16.
It shouldn't be a problem playing up for the blue.
17.
It's been pretty serene progress for Brecel to date. He beat Kasper Filipiak 4-0. Kasper, if truth be told, really didn't put him under any pressure, and saw off Rod Lawler, who's such a tough competitor, as we know, for the loss of just 1 frame. So 2 good wins under his belt. But this clearly is a giant step up.
23.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll feel good though, Philip, being back on the match table with the cameras watching him. Feels like he's back in the top 16 playing the world number 1. Yeah, couldn't really get anywhere from the black. It was straight.
30.
A little close to the cushion, so just made sure of the black, and going to try and take this long red on to the yellow pocket. But he doesn't want to play it with topspin like he is doing.
31.
Well, that had to go in. because he could have been leaving the red to the left corner. And like I was saying earlier, that's a brave shot to take on, but also a clever one because he covered the red with the blue. And that wasn't by accident that he covered it with the blue. That's what he attempted to play. I do like the way this young man plays. Plays very quick, and sometimes though he can get involved in safety play, and that's not really his game. Needs to leave an angle on the black this time to be able to open the reds up, and that is just not hard enough, I'm afraid.
Luca Brecel, 34.
So a handy lead, but clearly not decisive at the start of this frame and at the start of a big day for this tournament, of course. We began on Monday with a field of 128. It'll be whittled down to just the 8 quarter-finalists by close of play. 2 rounds to play today. Judd Trump, of course, is defending his title, which he's won for the past 2 years. And if he does win a hat-trick, well, you have to go back nearly a quarter of a century for the last time a player won 3 ranking events of the same ilk in a row. That was Hendry at the UK.
Finished up a good safety, and that's because he missed it thin.
Their most recent meeting came in the German Masters earlier this year. 5-3 for Trump, but a 7-1 head-to-head. Shows you how he's dominated his opponent. But today's another day. Yeah,
he's won the last 4 meetings, actually, Judd Trump. And the frame scores stand at 30, plays 11 overall. Quite a big difference.
I guess Brecel can draw encouragement from a considerable number of upsets we've had in this tournament, particularly in the last 24 hours, with the likes of Selby, Williams, Bingham, Kyron Wilson today, all bowing out. Selby result was particularly extraordinary. Lucas Klecker's ranked 117 in the world, beating him 4-0.
Plenty of action on the cue ball there to bring it back out of trouble. It has left a half chance here to the middle or the corner. So Trump with his first chance.
Trump was basically unplayable against Gao Yang, but he had to work hard, remember, in his first match. He'd lost the first frame against Gerard Green, who'd made a good break, and he took on that very tough red to left centre at the start of the second with everything there for Green. Had he missed it?
No.
Just indicative of the confidence he feels about his game these days. Why wouldn't he? A record-breaking 6 ranking titles last season. And he mentioned that he's won 10 titles in the last 2 years. So he's doubled his tally of ranking titles since he won this in 2018.
Yep, he's got his belief, hasn't he? Always had confidence, that's for sure, but now he really believes that he can win tournaments.
15.
That's proving to be the case. Now, if he can finish low on this next red, he could open more reds up. Has he come far enough?
20.
A little straighter than he wanted, I'm sure.
21.
Well, that pack looks very inviting. Just try and get in the gap of the reds there. Well, he may still be on a red to the left centre, but he didn't get the gap. Caught the red a little bit too full.
Another big ex-City last evening, of course, was Neil Robertson, who looked distinctly out of sorts, although Ben Williston played exceptionally well to beat him, and he's backed that win up today, Williston, by beating Liang Wenbo. But the burst of centuries against Gao Yang has now drawn trump level with Robertson in the list. 7-4-3.
28.
And now joint fourth behind Messrs Hendry, Higgins and, of course, O'Sullivan. It'll be interesting to see after that extraordinary win over Selby whether Lucas Kleckers can back it up today. He's up against Zhao Jintong of China, who's taken the first frame.
Danger of catching the reds here. Oh, what a pot that was. That's an incredible pot. Played it with a lot of left-hand side on the cue ball to avoid the two reds.
Green ball.
Closest to that right middle. Look at all the side on the cue ball there.
That's the problem for Trump's opponents, isn't it, Joe? That no ball is safe.
Well, it was on as a shot to nothing, but the way he played it, he took the danger of those two reds out of the equation. And now the game at his mercy.
5.
And you would expect him to win from here. May take the pink. Or if the black goes onto the blue spot, no problem taking the black. And if it squeezes onto the black spot, and he's going to try to,
12.
oh, the red still goes.
13. 20.
Okay.
21.
Well, he got in with a terrific red, and it should and could be a frame winner. That was a tremendous shot. With all the side he had on the cue ball, it was a very good kiss, but surely he deserved it.
28.
22 points the difference, so red in a big colour here. He's going to leave Luca Brecel leading snookers.
29.
And the tendency is, with the very best in the world, that they bully their opponents on the table. Once they get their noses in front, very difficult to reel them in. That's what Brecel is facing today. Had the first chance, ran out of position on 34, and it looks like being his last contribution of this frame. Snooker's already needed.
38.
What a red it was, though, to get in.
41.
He already won the English Open, the first leg of the Home Nations this season, of course, coming from behind to beat Neil Robertson in another
45.
classic final by the odd frame.
There's no doubt about it, Phil. We're seeing some fantastic matches on Eurosport.
50.
Very close matches, but we're seeing that the type of snooker, the excellence of the snooker. This young man especially.
And he's making a very difficult game look ridiculously easy as he clears the table, but it was the long red that was key. And Luca Brecel, if he didn't know already, knows now. He's in for a very tough afternoon as Judd Trump takes the opening frame. Another mightily impressive start from Judd Trump. A break of 63, but it was this red that was the key which launched that frame-winning break after Luca Brecel had got in early, built a 30-plus lead, but ran out of position. Trump showing once again the value of his magnificent long potting. We know about the weight of his scoring, but he can create opportunities for himself that other players frankly can't. We were talking about the all-time great long potters, Joe, and we mentioned that Neil Robertson would certainly be in the top 5 for most people. I think Trump arguably would be right at the very top.
Yeah, I don't even think arguably. He knocks in balls that other players, and I'm talking about the absolute top players, wouldn't even attempt.
Well, there's another one.
Great shot. And let's not forget, in the last frame, it was a reasonably good safety shot from Luca Brecel. But you can't stop players, especially great players, knocking in exceptionally good balls and winning the frame from it. That's the painful part for Brecel, is that he didn't just knock it in, he won the frame from it. There was nothing safe. Didn't have a life somewhere on the table. And we're all there for the taking, and he took them.
Martin Gould awaits the winner of this one. He came from behind against Andy Hicks earlier, 3-1 down
14.
to win in a decider.
Well, whichever player who plays, it's going to be a good match, that. Martin Gould returned to form, pleased to say,
15.
with his new glasses. Another very attacking player.
Yes, of course, he only just missed out on winning his second ranking title right at the start of this season, losing to Mark Selby 9-8 in the European Masters final. Good to see Martin playing well again. We know he's had some well-documented mental health issues, but
22.
he's got his love for the game back. He's in a much better place these days, and it's showing on the table. Another one of the big guns, Stephen Maguire, the victim of an eye-catching upset up on Sankam, whitewashing Maguire, and of course Sankam knocked Shaun Murphy out of the World Championship this year in the opening round. So although there are plenty of big hitters still in, quite a few have fallen by the wayside.
Well, he's given this shot a lot of thought here on how to open more reds up. And he's looked at all kinds of scenarios. He could try and leave an angle off the black this time round
23.
and go into them, and I think that's what he's decided to do. Now, if you can miss the red directly above the black, catch the one on the left, they should split really nicely. Well, don't forget to pot the black.
Judd Trump, 23.
Now, surely he's not got away with that. I think the red to the middle may be cuttable, but he'd like one to the opposite middle. Very rare that you see Judd Trump miss a black off the spot. Maybe concentrating on the cannon too much, which he got.
Mark Allen had to work hard late last night to see off Rob Milkins 4-2. He's up against Scott Donaldson this afternoon, the Champion of Champions winner. And Donaldson, who won the Championship League last season, has taken the first frame. Dominic Dale, fresh from his victory over Mark Williams, has started out against Ali Carter, the Masters finalist from this year. And Zhao Jintong is about to go 2-0 up on Mark Selby's conqueror, Lucas Clackers.
Yeah, it was a thin, and look at this. That's so unfortunate. That was an excellent cut. He was aware of the in-off as well. Not in that pocket, in the yellow pocket, but nearly found it in that one.
Blue ball. Green ball.
Brecel nominates green.
Luca Brecel 1.
Yes, Trump got a little bit lucky there, didn't he? Could have left an easier red.
Well, I think that was a clever shot he played there, because with the black not being on its spot, that long straight red to the left corner, there's no value in it, except to say that the green's come down the table, which he didn't plan on the green coming that far. But still too dangerous to take on, surely, even for Trump. Well, that didn't go according to plan, that's for sure. He didn't play that. Red into the pack of reds and the white a little bit further towards the black. An easy opener. Well, it was. And he can't afford that, I'm afraid. You can get away with it against some of the lower ranked players, but against Trump, you fear the worst.
Well, his reaction said it all. Poor shot from Trump, but not punished for it.
1.
Again, a very attacking shot that from Trump. Going into the pack of reds, feeling that he was going to be at least on the green. Not sure if you can see enough of the easy green, but he's still got the blue, which you'd fancy him for. Tough shot, that makes them look easy. But not today. So what a let-off for Brecel.
1.
He's got to take advantage of that.
Well, Trump's already given up more chances than poor old Gao Yang had a look at in the 4 frames in which Trump blitzed his opponent with that barrage of breaks, including a maximum. But as you say, unless Brecel can capitalise, it's not going to matter.
1.
Well, he'd like to get the black back on its spot.
Goodness me.
Luca Brecel 1.
Yeah, it goes from bad to worse. That wasn't a difficult shot. He wasn't trying to do too much with the cue ball. Just a lack of concentration, I think.
1.
Or maybe he still had the red that he missed still in his mind. We often speak about forgetting about bad shots you play very quickly. And you could be presented with something very quickly, and maybe he just wasn't prepared.
6.
There's 3 reds to go at, possibly 4.
7.
No, didn't play that one well. Had enough of an angle on the blue to be able to come in and out of baulk. Looking good. And he may be able to open more reds up.
12.
So that poor shot on the blue, it's probably done him a favour.
13.
35 points the lead. Doesn't need that difficult red on the black cushion. Played it with a lot of right hand side on the cue ball to check it back down for this red.
Well, this has been a scrappy frame by Trump standards, a few uncharacteristic errors, but he wasn't punished for them.
17.
What a shot he's played there to get the right side of the blue. This tournament is very dear to Trump's heart. Of course, he's won it the past 2 years, but when he won it for the first time in 2018, he hadn't won a tournament since the European Masters over a year previously. And it really was the catalyst, that victory over Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final, of course, that has taken his game to a whole new level. He's not looked back since.
28.
Repeated the trick against O'Sullivan in that magnificent final last year. Could we be heading for something similar again? Well, that's a surprise miss. It was frame ball, 50 the difference.
Unbelievable. But the blue previously, to leave himself close to the cushion, that wasn't a good shot either. He may have got a ping off the cushion, but for me, just a little careless today.
Well, this has been a curious frame. A hatful of errors from both players, and that was frame ball for Trump, which makes it all the more surprising. But Luca Brecel can't buy a pot at the moment.
No, that was a golden chance as well for Brecel. He needed 3 reds, 3 blacks, but he'd nudged the red out. It was on the black. Wait for it.
I think he's missed more balls or made more mistakes in this frame, Trump, than he did in most of last season. So Judd Trump misses frame ball twice. Luca Brecel has missed pretty much everything he's gone for. Bizarre frame. And still up for grabs.
Well, for me, he's favourite to win this frame now.
8.
Now he needs 2 reds, 2 blacks, but that's not too difficult. And Trump, I don't know what he's feeling. I think
9.
Trump's is just careless. Now, what kind of an angle has he got? If it's straight and the cue ball's coming back and hitting the red, it's okay.
He really has to summon the blood here, Brecel. He's made some glaring mistakes in this frame, but he's been given unlikely lifelines to win it nonetheless, and well, he's really got to do that now. If he's to have any chance today, he surely has to win this frame now. The last 16 was the best he managed last season in the ranking events. Did make the semis of the Paul Hunter Classic, which is now invitational. Lost out to Fergal O'Brien in World Championship qualifying. Has qualified for the German Masters, however. 2 good wins to get him to the latter stages of an event he's made the final of course, in the past, losing to Martin Gould 4 years ago. But these are big moments for Brecel this afternoon. He has to really focus on the job in hand now. On the face of it,
17.
A very makeable clearance to win the frame.
Yeah, the only problem I can see is from pink to black. So very important, if he gets to that stage, to be the right side of the blue.
26.
And if Trump should lose this match, I'm sure he'd look back at this frame. Because he was completely on top, even though he'd missed a couple. But missing 2 frames, very unlike Judd Trump.
Well, he was immaculate, as we've already discussed, against Gao Yang, and I guess the problem is that the only way from
33.
that level of perfection he produced is down. Played a very good opening frame, made that excellent clearance
38.
after a tremendous long red.
Doesn't want to be too straight on the pink. Now he's going to run through the cushions here, so I don't think the middle pocket comes into play. He's going to have to play it with a lot of left-hand side on the cue ball. Just travelled a little too far, or not far enough. Very nearly did come into play. And now, again, after having the frame at his mercy, he can't pot the black. He's got to be kicking himself, Luca Brecel. For me, the black on one side cushion, the white on the other side cushion.
Luca Brecel, 44.
So this remarkable frame comes down to the final black.
Where's the white going? It was a good black, but for the white to be so close to the pocket wasn't a good shot. Turned out a good one. Could have been a lot different.
As it is, the full 12 feet here and the black glued to that top cushion, so Brecel's got to be careful. His mind's a little scrambled at the moment. His concentration just hasn't been there so far in this match. But he could still emerge at 1 each, which would be a major result for him.
Yeah, he's somehow got to get the black safe though. Not to be the case. It's not easy. I'd like to make a suggestion. Double kisses on. Putting it on the side cushion is difficult because the cue ball could run off. No, that's an excellent shot.
What a big frame this has become. If Trump wins it, well, it's a very long way back for Brecel, given the chances he's had.
And can he recover, Philip? That's the secret. That's the question.
He's gone for the pot, and he's actually overcut it.
Well, this isn't easy just because it's close to the pocket.
Nearly fluked it.
Yeah.
Well, it's all happening.
Well, he could go for the pot into the right corner. It's an easy enough safety. That's guaranteed that the black was going to be near the cushion. Showing patience, because he could have gone to pot the black. He didn't play the double kiss. Held his hands up.
Everything about Trump's game in the past couple of years has moved on to a whole new plateau, and his tactical skill is another example of that. But Luca Brecel has potted the black. What a pot it was. What an extraordinary frame. Judd Trump missed frame ball twice. They both missed hatfuls. But in the end, Brecel has come up with a great black and has levelled this match. We have a match on our hands here at the Milton Keynes Marshall Arena after one of the more remarkable frames we've seen this season. I think Judd Trump made more mistakes in that frame than he's done in the rest of the season combined. Remember, he was perfect against Gao Yang in the previous round. Luca Brecel missed all sorts as well, and it looked as though he might pay the price when we got down to the last black. But what a pot that was from Brecel to right the previous wrongs and to get him level in this match. He's only beaten Trump once in 8 previous meetings. Trump will certainly be very frustrated not to be 2-0 up, given that he missed frame ball twice. Neither of them particularly difficult. So he has to reset now. And Brecel, against all the odds, Joe, is back in the match.
Yeah, and you say they weren't difficult.
Well, not by his standards.
No, they weren't difficult at all, was it? Really? You know. Just couldn't believe that Trump missed frame balls like that. But he is a powerful mind, and he can put things out of his mind. You don't become #1 in the world and be world champion without having a positive outlook. I think it would have affected Luca Brecel in a bigger way had he lost it. Chances that he had.
Meanwhile, Mark Allen has drawn level with Scott Donaldson at 1 frame all.
Well, that's a very attacking shot he's played there. The red's going all over the place, playing that cue ball back to the balk area, trying to get it tight under the cushion. It's left to red, to that left corner, but it's a tough one with no colour to come from it. Not sure if it's worthwhile taking on. Maybe just drop the cue ball onto the black cushion. He doesn't like playing that shot, but sometimes you just got no choice. So does he take it on or lay it off? Took it on. Now another chance for Brecel.
And if Trump had won that second frame, as he should have done, I'm sure he'd have potted that red. But the dynamic of this match has changed now. Trump's thinking about what went wrong in frame 2.
1.
Yeah, and how important now is this visit for Brecel? Because if he can punish Trump, might just make him think a little. It might make him think a lot. Now, does the red go to the right corner
6.
with the black to follow? It was a risky shot he took on, that's for sure. As I say, he could have laid the cue ball up on the black cushion, left it in the jaws of that left corner. That was guaranteed. But wants to get on with it. And it's a good way of thinking for me when you're the best in the world. Make the players play your type of game.
Zhao Jintong is bringing Lucas Kleckers back to earth after his heroics against Selby last evening. Zhao 3-0 up now.
15.
Winner of that match to play Yan Bingtao, who beat Barry Pinches, the veteran from Norwich. 4-1. They're level between Igor Figueiredo and Zhao Jianbo. Ryan Day has the first frame against Kurt Mafflin. Dominic Dale leads Ali Carter 1-0. And still to come, of course, following this match here on Table 1, Ronnie O'Sullivan against Matthew Stevens, who of course beat O'Sullivan convincingly at the English Open this season.
20.
Should be another cracker.
Sure it will be. Difficult to get to the black, and that's what he's trying to work out. How do I get onto the black? It is potable, but maybe just mount the points up with the blue and the balk colours. He's got the red in balk if he gets the wrong side of the blue. He'd like to get rid of that red that's closest to the left middle, because that's stopping the blue going in there. I thought he would have played for it the last time round. It's an important red, that, because it cuts the blue off. Now thinking of taking the red on, but he doesn't want to cannon into that red that's in the balk area. And he's fairly straight on this easy red to the right corner.
$26.
Well, that's a good kiss on the red to leave him straight on the blue. Back in prime position.
Brecel's home nation's record is pretty modest. He's never been past the round of 16 in any of the 4 events. Did make the 16 of this event 2 years ago. And also the same round of the Welsh Open earlier this year, last season.
37.
Well, that's why it's always good to leave a red in baulk, because if you get the wrong side of the blue, got a little saviour there. Yeah, slightly the wrong side of the blue again. Needs a good shot here.
49.
He's got tremendous cue power, you know, Luca Brecel. And it's all down to him, this, because he played a very attacking safety shot, opening the reds up there, getting that cue ball back close to the cushion, and kind of forcing Judd Trump to take that red on.
56.
So that attacking safety could show real good dividends.
Yes,
now, a decision to make. Sorry, Philip.
I was going to say that the manner of the way in which he won that bizarre second frame when both players lost the ability to pot for a spell has just changed the whole feel and demeanour of this match, hasn't it? Now suddenly Brecel is looking like he's really keyed up for this, and a serious threat to Trump's hopes of maintaining 61. His bid for a hat-trick of Northern Ireland Open titles.
Well, he needs one more red, and he thinks this one goes, and it does.
62.
So this is what's called punishment. Very brave shot that Trump took on, but he took that on early in the third frame when he'd just lost a frame, so he couldn't have been feeling at his best.
67.
What a strange game this is.
Well, it is, because Brecel looked all at sea, didn't he, in that second
put a
frame?
ball.
And now suddenly he's looking very dangerous. Trump knows he's got a battle on his hands. The frame is won.
And the third frame.
Only 51 left, and Trump nods his head. So we have a real match on our hands now. Luca Brecel in front, 2-1. Welcome back, where game is very much on in our first match on day 4 of the Northern Ireland Open, the day which will determine the 8 quarter-finalists of this second Home Nations event of the season. What an excellent attacking safety shot that was. Judd Trump had just missed the second frame in strange circumstances. Frame ball twice eluding him when both players were making all sorts of errors. At that stage, Brecel looked like he had very little chance of toppling the world #1, but a superb break of 68 in the previous frame, and now he's got his nose in front. He's only beaten Trump once before, remember, in 8 attempts. But Trump is now under pressure for the first time this week, having sailed through his first 2 rounds so impressively.
So, miss Luca Brecel 6.
Big target there. Back it goes.
Okay.
So a little thin, and there is a chance here for Luca. Yeah, found a plant, and all of a sudden he has overhit that slightly. The cue ball looks to be going into the pink. Makes the next red a little bit more difficult, but the pink's available, so is the black. He's just having a look at that now. If he could pot this red off 2 cushions and get closer to the black, yeah, that's worthwhile playing for. But if it's straight and he can't, then maybe play for the pink with the red next to it to follow, and then a better position on the black. Just depends what kind of an angle he's got. Yeah, he could get closer, and that's okay. Some players would have played it with top spin and left-hand side to get closer, but nothing wrong with that.
"24 hours is a long time in snooker, isn't it? Klecker's whitewashing Mark Selby, conceding only 3 points in the last 3 frames of that match. The reigning European Masters champion and twice Home Nations winner season. Whitewashed himself today by Xiao Jintong of China. Plays Yanbing Tao.
He didn't play that one well. He's going to get lucky here. He's absolutely spot on the blue, but that could have gone so wrong.
41.
It's 3 years now since Brecel made the breakthrough in ranking events, winning in Guangzhou at the China Championship and doing it in style as well. Won a terrific battle with Ronnie O'Sullivan in a decider, saw off Sean Murphy in the final. And the feeling was that his game would inevitably lead to the next level. Hasn't quite panned out that way. We mentioned his ranking had slipped down to 32 from a career high 11. But the ability has never been in question. And since winning that dramatic second frame, he looks like a completely different player now. He's on top.
Yeah, but very important now to keep it going, and it wasn't the best positional shot that he played.
Marcel Eckhart with a real battle here to get the pink in the right spot without disturbing any of the reds. And truly surrounded.
27.
Can just about cue it.
28.
Would have liked a nice angle there to go into that cluster. If it had got full ball on the pink, you'd have had reds to both corners.
$35. $36.
Just about hard enough, but he's going to have to pinch a little on the pocket here, maybe. Lots of topspin, left-hand side on the cue ball, and try and disturb something. Just depends how straight he is. He looks pretty straight on the blue. Slight angle. Well, at first glance,
41.
doesn't look as though he's on anything. Unless he can get right through the gap there, and he can't. So it was a good shot. Plenty of topspin and left-hand side on the cue ball. He made contact, but sometimes you just need that little bit of luck. And 47 at this level, it's not enough.
Luca Brecel, 41.
And there is a red at the back of the pack there that will go to the left corner. And it's just little shots like that that, if they come off, can cost you dearly.
Well, Trump has been frozen out since the dramatic conclusion to that second frame. Well over 100 points without reply from Brecel.
Yeah, he had to go at that long red, didn't he, at the start of frame 3. Missed it, and I don't think he's had another go at a pot since then.
And that was a pot that,
Apart from that, yeah.
that he missed, that was a direct consequence, I'm sure, of the circumstances in which he lost the second frame. Had he won it and led 2-0, I'm sure that red would have gone in, and he might well be 3-0 up by now, but this match has certainly taken a turn.
Well, the yellow is inviting to try and get in behind. But also got to be careful not to push something on to that right corner. It's not far away, this. It's not far away. Great shot.
Meanwhile, Scott Donaldson, as we see Trump's excellent safety, has gone back in front of Mark Allen, 2-1. One each between Dominic Dale and Ali Carter, although Dale, who knocked out Mark Williams, of course, is in first in the third on a break of 35. Yes, he's just nudged the red.
Yeah, great escape, wasn't it? And even though the red may be onto the middle, look at this for an escape. And that's already attempted to hit.
Trump, meanwhile, playing safe while we were seeing that replay.
Yeah, I was about to say, even though the red is onto the middle, there's no point in taking it on because there's no colour for it. So, had to play the safety, and it's a good one. This isn't straightforward. If he just rolls into the pack off two cushions, he leaves the red to the left middle. That's the red. So that's the one that's causing him problems. Oh, that was so close, you know. That was so close to being an excellent escape. He was trying to catch them thin. Look how close this is. Just missed the first one and just missed the second one as well.
And it needs to be a thin contact.
And a miss.
Too thick, and he could leave Trump in.
It could be a free ball.
Yep.
Trump under pressure, but of course when he won the English Open he had to come through the early rounds on numerous occasions from a big deficit. So no stranger to fighting back in a best of 7 this season.
Just Trump.
Well, he's got 12 points out of this at the moment. Yeah, very close.
Just Trump 4.
But as Philip said, he doesn't want to catch them too thick. That would be a disaster.
Foul and a miss. Just Trump 4.
Not sure if the black and pink will go to that left corner. So if he does get a chance, Judd Trump, like the black or pink to go. At last, but a little bit too thick. Now, does the black and pink go to that left corner? Importantly, can he get to them? Good pot. Good cannon. He couldn't have played that any better, but he's still not left himself with an easy colour.
Trump's first pot since the back end of frame 2, the frame which has changed this match around. Still plenty of points there to get right back into this 4th frame.
But he's hit it too well.
8.
China's Zhao Jianbo, who of course knocked the Masters champion Stuart Bingham out in the previous round, has taken a 2-1 lead over Igor Figueiredo. Kurt Mafflin also leads by that score against Ryan Day. And it looks like Dominic Dale's about to go 2-1 up on the Masters finalist, Ali Carter.
Oh, it's incredible that he's not on an easy red.
Trump. 8.
Played that black superbly, but just a little bit too hard.
The table looks pretty inviting, doesn't it, for whoever gets in next?
Well, there is a chance here, Philip. The red just above the pink spot.
Still to come, remember, Ronnie O'Sullivan against Matthew Stevens. That's our next match here on table 1. Of course, the winner of the first match today comes back this evening in a bid to make the quarterfinals, all of which are played tomorrow. Kind of pot that Trump...
Wait for it. Wait for
You're
it.
kidding. You're kidding.
Oh, that was so close, wasn't it?
Well, I was going to say, the kind of pot that Trump would normally gobble up, but of course he's under a lot of pressure now.
Yeah, and he didn't quite catch the angles of the pocket first time round.
How close was this?
Yeah, that's a disaster for Trump.
What a difference that could make if it had dropped. Look at the table. It was on the black.
Yeah, he can play the red onto the red here, and that would clear the black. I'm surprised he's not playing that shot. The red that's next to the black, if he played that one onto the other red, it's unmissable. Any touch and it's got to drop.
Oh.
Well, that's incredible. Somebody's going to have to tell me why he didn't play that red onto the red and free the black.
Well, in the meantime, what a moment to miss cue. It's certainly been an eventful match, this one.
Well, that could be a real turning point, couldn't it, Philip?
Trump would certainly have feared the worst and would have frankly expected a 3-1 deficit after missing the long red and leaving it. Now he's got another chance.
1.
Doesn't want the full ball kiss. Well, he's under big pressure to pot this blue or green. And I think the green may be easier.
awkward with the rest. What a big shot this is.
He was down on the shot a long time there, but he's got a nice angle on the red to the middle to get to the black. If it goes, I think it does.
6.
Those stats are very unusual for Trump. Less than 80% pot success at the moment. And when you contrast those stats with what he produced
7.
in the previous round, even more remarkable. But he's been given a chance here which he really shouldn't have had to level this match.
$14. $15.
Yeah, just under hit it, so gonna have to go up
22.
towards the blue. Don't think he can hold for the black.
23.
Perfectly played, right side of the blue. Depending on the colours he takes, he's probably going to need all 4 reds.
28. $29.
Yeah, he's only going to need
36.
2 of these 3 reds. This one's easy enough.
37.
Well, I didn't want the kiss.
42.
By taking the blue, he needs both reds.
27 the lead, 43 left. Looking at the scoreboard, we heard the sigh from Trump when he realised he was cannoning into the pink, which scuppered position.
The only good thing you could say about the shot, Philip, is that he's tied the pink and black up.
Judge on 42.
Well, Brecel will be relieved that the miscue just now didn't cost him the frame anyway. It's allowed Trump to take control of it, though, for now. Snookered on both reds.
Difficult to tell from here. Playing with a slight swerve. Yeah, and to play it with a slight swerve, just to make a thin contact.
Compelling stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, and a massive frame for both players. What makes it all the more compelling. Now then, where's it going to finish? Well, it could have been worse.
Yeah, he's hampered by the yellow. Otherwise, this would be a much more straightforward pot. And Brecel has also released the pink from the black. But big shot here for Trump.
It most certainly is.
One.
Yeah, good pot. Because had he missed that, they were all there for the taking.
It was good cueing, wasn't it? It was tougher than he made it look, that pot. And now Luca Brecel is going to be festering about the miscue when he had the frame seemingly at his mercy
6.
for a 3-1 lead. Has he missed the boat?
Oh.
This is the miscue, and it's a miscue and a half, isn't it? Goodness me.
Yeah, what's even more surprising though, Philip, is why not play the red next to the black and free the black? Good pot on the red. Should seal this fourth frame.
Yes, relief for Trump. He was really under it. 2-1 down when he should have been 2-0 up. But he held himself together well on that long red when he was hampered by the yellow. And he's been rewarded with parity. Well, barring something extraordinary anyway.
Check on 9.
So 36 the difference. 27 on. 3 snookers. You can feel the tension out there.
Yeah, not far away. Good attempt. 3 snookers unless he plays yellow, green and brown, and then it's 2.
Another one of the big hitters in trouble again today. Mark Allen, who came through last night against Rob Milkins, is about to find himself 3-1 down to Scott Donaldson.
I don't think Scott has beaten him. Mark Allen.
Luca Brecel 2.
Tough ask this, clearly, for Brecel. He needs 3 snookers as things stand. Maybe it won't hurt him, though, to play on for a bit and try and forget about the miscue if he can, or at least get it out of his system, because he's still banging this match. It's been a terrific match. Not necessarily for the quality of the snooker. There's been quite a few errors, but of course, more often than not, that makes it all the more exciting. And Trump, having sailed through his first 2 rounds without breaking sweat, and he was brilliant in the previous one, is properly under pressure today. This is a very different vibe for him. Winner to play Martin Gould.
3. Luca Brecel 3.
Well, there's one of the snookers, and Trump's got to be a bit careful here.
Yeah, not straightforward this. Just got to keep that free ball in mind.
Four.
That's one way of getting out of it. So, relief for Trump. as he flukes the brown out of the snooker. And frustration this time for Brecel, who knows he had a golden chance there to go 2 up with 3 to play against the world #1 and defending champion. Miscued at the worst possible time and has paid the price.
15.
But we still have a real match on our hands here. It's now a best of 3 for a place in the last 16.
So Trump, 22.
And Trump's Northern Ireland Open title defence remains on track, but he still has work to do. A crucial frame for him to win, though, as he levels 2-all. Well, this is turning into a terrific tussle, but a key moment in the frame. We've just seen Luca Brecel, who was getting on top of Judd Trump. Great chance for 3-1. The cameraman having to take evasive action after that gigantic miscue, and that allowed Trump back into the frame. That was a good pot because he was hampered on the yellow. And then, well, if truth be told, the frame was over by then, because Brecel needed 3 snookers, so Trump very relieved to be level when it looked as though he was going to be 3-1 down after that comedy of errors in the 4th frame when he missed frame ball twice, and has looked under the cosh this afternoon. It's a really compelling match and still very much up for grabs. They both need 2 for the right to play Martin Gould in the last 16. Kurt Mafflin has just moved 3-1 up on Ryan Day. Mark Allen needs multiple snookers to avoid falling 3-1 down to Scott Donaldson. And Ali Carter is level with Dominic Dale at 2 frames all. Coming up next, here on table 1, O'Sullivan against Stevens. Who's your money on now, Joe?
Well, he could have took the long red on there to the left corner and finished low on the black. He couldn't have left a red on except the one he was playing, which tells me that he's not feeling confident right now, and no wonder. You know, that last frame was in his grasp with that red over the pocket, but for me he played the wrong shot. Now, can he get that out of his mind? There's no doubt now that the mental strength between the 2 players has now switched. Having said that, Trump's played a safety shot, and what do we always say? Play the object ball first more than the cue ball. And on that occasion, he failed to do so. Chance.
1.
Just what he needed.
Yes, the early opportunity to get said miscue out of his system.
Well, if he's on that red
5.
to the left of the black, it was a great positional shot. Well, not quite on the red he wanted to be on. But still on one, and what can he do with it? I don't think he's got the angle to play the cannon to the red closest to the black.
6.
That's an excellent shot he's played there if he's on the black. Had to find the gap and just the right amount of stun on the cue ball.
13.
What is unquestionably true in this COVID world in which we live right now is that this game
14.
is no more straightforward for the lack of an audience in the arena. There's still the same pressure, the same tension, the still tendency to miss the odd easy one.
And don't forget, it's still as watchable. And we've seen
21.
some fantastic matches. It's just a shame there hasn't been a crowd, because there's been some beauties, hasn't there?
Millions watching all over the world, though, at home. What a feast of snooker you've got to look forward to.
22.
UK Championship qualifying live here from next Monday before the event itself gets underway next weekend. Hot off the heels, the third leg of the home nations, the Scottish Open, and then the World Grand Prix, all before Christmas, back to back. It's a snooker fest.
30.
Well, he seems to have regathered his composure after what happened in the previous frame.
Yeah, it was a poor safety really from Trump to send that red down towards that right corner. Doesn't want to be straight. Just come back a little too far for comfort there. Now, does the red go to the right middle? If it does, he's okay. Looks to me as though it will go.
Six.
Nicely played, coming around
53.
the two cushions. He is going to need to go into them at some stage, though. These two reds, not enough. Trump will be pinning all his hopes on the split if he manages to split them.
54.
And he's left that one a little straight, so it's not going to be this shot. Now, so important
59.
to get a good position on either the black or the blue to be able to give those reds a touch. Chose the black. Needs a little bit of luck here.
So near, but yet to get over the line. This is the key shot. One more red required off the black. And don't forget to pot the black.
So, not dead and buried yet, Judd Trump.
67.
Trump's pot success today down at 81%. I think you'd have got pretty favourable odds on that at the start of this match, given how he's played in his previous 2 rounds. But it's all about getting to 4 frames. That's all Trump cares about. Keeping his title defence going, bidding for a hat-trick, of course, and the first player since Hendry to win the same ranking event 3 years running. Hendry did it at the UK Championship 24 years ago.
Luca Brecel, 67.
A rare feat indeed. Trump's a long way off that at the moment.
Big target this, the green and brown. Oh, he's caught it much too thin. That cue ball's going to be coming back down the table. He's disgusted with that one. So just the red needed.
No one's immune to the pressure in this game, even the best in the world, of which Trump is.
1.
Right in the middle. Okay, he's not on the blue, but snooker's required now for Trump.
Who looks chastened. Only 1 snooker. Yeah, he needed that in, but now the pink has disappeared. It's surely going to be Brecel moving to within a frame.
7.
What would be a huge victory for him. He's had a fairly ordinary time of things in the last couple of seasons, even allowing for his Championship League triumph
8.
post-lockdown. But in ranking events, he hasn't really featured in the sharp end for quite some time. If he could beat Trump today, it would be a huge boost to his confidence. But he's still got to win 1 more frame.
12.
But he has played exceptionally well since he seemed to have lost his way completely midway through
12.
frame 2. He somehow won it with a brilliant final black, and since then he's looked very good. The miscue aside, and Judd Trump really under it now, the defending champion in trouble here at Milton Keynes. He trails 3-2. Welcome back. Judd Trump in trouble, 3-2 down to Luca Brecel, and another of the big guns also in bother over on the app, as you can see. Scott Donaldson, who won the Championship League last season, 3-1 up on the Champion of Champions winner Mark Allen. We've had a raft of upsets in the last day and a half, the likes of Selby, Robertson, Williams, Bingham, all bowing out. We could have another couple in the next half an hour or so. We shall see. Brecel 1 frame away from toppling defending champion and world #1 Judd Trump. Trump has proved already this season in the home nations he can dig deep. He came back 3 rounds running from behind at the English Open before eventually winning it from 7-4 behind in the final against Robertson. So this is not unusual territory for him. But he's not looked himself, Joe, has he, from the moment that he missed those 2 frame balls in frame 2.
That's right. I mean, he was playing so well up until that moment. He was looking the stronger of the 2 by a long way. But then he just gave his opponent a little life, and he's took it, to be fair. And he had a great frame in the last frame. So looks like we're maybe looking towards a re-rack.
Meanwhile, another result with Kurt Mafflin ousting Ryan Day by 4 frames to 1. He'll now play the winner of the match between Igor Figueiredo and the man who knocked Bingham out, Zhao Jianbo of China, who leads 3-1. Dominic Dale and Ali Carter are locked together at 2 each. Winner of that to play Ben Williston, who backed up his fine victory over Neil Robertson last night with a 4-2 win today over Liang Wenbo.
Will he go for this very thin cut? Oof. Kinda swung his cue at that a bit, and I think this red may cut to the middle.
One.
Yeah, could have done without the kiss really. He'd have had a nice angle on one of the colours to get back to the reds. And I think the only red really that's easy, if you like, is the one next to the black. I think it may go to that right corner. Has the angle on the blue to get to it. Sprung off that side cushion. But that's really helped him.
6.
And when he pots this one, it releases the other one to the left corner. Oh, that's a real let
Brecel,
off.
6.
Wasn't difficult, that. Maybe just seeing the winning line, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's one thing getting into a winning position against the best in the world. It's another converting it. That's the really difficult bit. But Trump misses again.
Yeah, played it with a lot of right-hand side on the cue ball to try and gain position on the black. Made the pot harder for sure. Look at the cue ball.
Trump's percentage success with his pots today, 77.9. Scarcely believable from where it's been of late.
1.
Well, that kiss couldn't have worked out much better.
There's confirmation. Brecel well in front in that regard, and he's missed a few as well today, but he's got plenty too.
8.
Well, he's got his chance, Philip. And that's basically all you ask for in the frame that you need to win. Give me a chance.
9.
Yeah, just didn't find the gap. He was looking to get through that gap.
16.
No, I think he would have been on a red, but the red that's closest to the middle has thwarted him somewhat. And not easy to get down the table for a safety from here. When you can't think of anything, just give your opponent the same problem, just touch the red there. Keeps looking at that red to the middle, so it's got to be tight. No, maybe he's playing one red onto another. He did, very
Luca Brecel,
ambitious.
16.
So Brecel's lead and the frame he needs for a famous victory. A modest 22, but Trump has to be very careful now. Very little room to manoeuvre. One more mistake and he could be out of the tournament. His title defence over. Brecel's. Well, there's little doubt where the momentum of this match shifted in that very eventful second frame when both players missed all sorts, but Trump crucially missed frame ball twice. Here's one of them, and here's the other. By his standards, pretty routine pots. Would have given him a 2-0 lead, and then the match is very different. Since then, he's struggled. He's having to dig very deep now to try and get himself out of this predicament and maintain his title defence.
Yeah, we often say, don't we, that confidence plays such a massive part. And it certainly does. And it's so easy to lose. But the positive way of looking at things is that it's so easy to get back with one good shot.
Meanwhile, another upset in the offing with Scott Donaldson now 58 points clear in the frame he needs to oust Champion of Champions winner Mark Allen, one of the players of the season, unquestionably, but staring down the barrel at the moment in his home tournament. Yes, it's not being played in Belfast, but again, Allen set to underachieve in a tournament where he'd love to excel.
Well, I'm pretty certain that he played in behind the yellow there. He certainly didn't play in behind the green, because you're leaving your opponent with a long red if you don't quite get there, hand on the table and everything. So I think he played in behind the yellow, but misjudged the speed by a long way. Can he get to the potting angle of that red? No easy safety shot. Just a containing safety shot. Could be in trouble the next time round again. Well, can he see enough of this red to the middle? Big shot, this.
One.
Oh, what a good shot. Not ideally on the yellow or the green, but it's a chance. Didn't get that cue ball close enough to the black cushion. Well, it was ideally on the green.
He's made just one break today, Joe, of significance. That 63 in the first frame off that brilliant long red from Bork, but nothing since. Yeah. This is a real chance, though, to put something substantial on the board and maybe even take us to a decider.
Yeah, he's done it before, hasn't he? As you say, finished up winning the tournament, coming from behind twice, and again in the final.
I think it's another aspect of Trump's game that has moved to a whole new plateau.
10.
His resilience, his mettle under extreme pressure. You have to have that to be a world #1 and world champion.
11.
And this is another test of those credentials, because Brecel has played very well today, but Trump still has a chance to have the last laugh. And waiting in the wings, Ronnie O'Sullivan and Matthew Stevens. O'Sullivan eyeing some revenge for his loss at the English Open to Stevens, 4-1. Had to work very hard yesterday, the world champion, against Elliot Slesser, a very
17.
Intense match. O'Sullivan, of course, very mindful of having lost to Slesser in their previous 2 meetings, played very well. Didn't
18.
miss a ball of significance all afternoon. Got to do it all over again today against Stevens. He's been showing some of the old form. Twice coming from behind this week to win. Really is bubbling up very nicely, this second Home Nations event.
25.
And by the end of the day, we'll only have 8 players left.
Well, this is a good ball to take because it releases another one to the right corner.
26.
Didn't want to be straight on the blue, though. That wasn't a good positional shot from such an easy red. He'll be disappointed with that. He is under-hit it slightly. Wanted to
31.
be at least another couple of inches further.
32.
The black drops in. Trump's break continues, but Mark Allen's
39.
hopes of excelling in his home tournament, albeit that we're in Milton Keynes and not Belfast, goes on. A great win for Scott Donaldson, 4-1 over the Champion of Champions winner, whose best run at the Northern Ireland Open remains a quarter-final in the first year of the Home Nations 4 years ago. Another upset. Trump avoiding a similar fate, he hopes, in winning this frame.
Yeah, and I think that's the first time that Scott's ever beaten him.
Yeah, you're right. He'd lost the previous 6, albeit some of them have been very close. Terrific win for Donaldson.
45. .46.
Okay, a little straighter on the black than he wanted, so let's play this with a lot of screw. And under-hit it.
53.
And missed a red like this in frame 2 to take a 2-0 lead.
54.
Not this time. Just over-hit it slightly. 32 points the lead, so doesn't need that awkward red near the right side cushion.
.59.
Well, Brecel was in first in this frame. Lost position.
60.
Looks as though we're going all the way. Frame ball.
.67.
Yeah, as you say, had the first chance.
68.
He was a little unfortunate going into the pack of reds and not finishing on anything, but he couldn't find a good safety. Tried to play a very complicated plant. Really, he's been in trouble since that shot because Trump put him in trouble. He got out of it. Trump put him in trouble again.
76.
But he's took these very well, Trump, and that's why he's #1 in the world, because he's got that composure under pressure.
Well, exactly. He's not played well today. The stats are indicative of that. He's still in the low 80s for pot success, even allowing for this break. But what he does have is a tremendous competitive edge, a desire to win. He's a winning machine these days. We've mentioned he's won 10 titles in the last 2 years.
83.
And he is not going to give up his crown lightly.
Judgment.
And he's given himself a shot at maintaining his title defence with that cool break. Luca Brecel has played some great stuff as well, but he's still got to get the better of the world #1. A tough ask. It's 3-all. timely intervention from the world #1, the defending Northern Ireland Open champion Judd Trump. 83, we're going all the way on table 1 with Luca Brecel, but here is Scott Donaldson wrapping up a famous victory over Mark Allen by 4 frames to 1. The champion of champions winner has looked good again this week. Well beaten today in his home tournament. Donaldson through to the round of 16. So, a 1-frame shootout to see who will play Martin Gould this evening, with Ronnie O'Sullivan and Matthew Stevens up next. But Trump showed why he's the world #1 just now. That was a cool break, wasn't it?
Yeah,
keep his
class.
hopes alive, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. He's class. Make no mistake. Just when you think you've got him, he produces something. Always good to get a good break off, though, in a decider.
Zhao Jianbo of China, who knocked Masters champion Stuart Bingham out, of course, is 3-1 up on Igor Figueiredo, who's well in front in the 5th frame. And Ali Carter is on the cusp of beating Dominic Dale, who, of course, knocked Mark Williams out yesterday. Carter's ranking tournament form has been modest of late. He slipped down to the early 20s in the provisional rankings, but he's through to the round of 16. Of course, he made the Masters final, played some great stuff there, having got in courtesy of O'Sullivan's withdrawal. And he'll now play Ben Wollaston, who knocked out Liang Wenbo after seeing off Neil Robertson yesterday.
Yeah, good chance that for both those players, because they're both on the cusp of getting back into the top 16. Wollaston for the first time, but Ali Carter, who's a great player, great fighter.
The winner of the O'Sullivan-Stevens match is Tepchire and New, so that's going to be a firecracker, whoever comes through. Tepchire seeing off Alan Taylor earlier without losing a frame.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be tempted by that red to the left corner there. It was well within his capabilities. He could only leave the red he was playing on if he finished low on the black. Sometimes you get a chance and you've got to try and take it. But then the other aspect of that is, if you don't fancy it, don't take it on. Careful if he takes that red on near the black. That was always the safest option for me. Played it well.
Their 9th meeting and their first decider. Of course, Trump leads the head-to-head 7-1, and most of those wins have been emphatic, 3 of them by whitewash. And Brecel's solitary win was also by whitewash. That was 3 years ago in the Champion of Champions, but this has been a very different occasion. Really intense, compelling stuff. Some great snooker, some shot errors as well from both players. All the ingredients necessary for a great match. And that is a great pot. What a terrific pot that was.
That's given him a great chance, hasn't it? You could tell that Trump wasn't pleased with where the cue ball was left. He tried to get it closer to the black cushion.
I think there should be a steward's inquiry as to why there was no applause there. Perhaps the batteries have run out, but what a pot that was, given the situation. It's given him the chance. First up in this decider. Ah, the nerves.
At the moment, not straightforward, not easy to get to the black, which you'd love to do, then it would be straightforward. And he's not happy with this shot. I think he's straight on the red. No, it wasn't straight, but he couldn't get the right side of the blue. Try and avoid the ball colours, maybe the brown. Yeah, caught it full ball, didn't put anything on the cue ball. I thought maybe a little bit of stun screw to avoid that shot.
Yes, he's disappointed. It was a brilliant opening red to set up what looked like a pretty good chance, but he's going to have to pull something out here to keep the break going. Never been past the last 16 of a Home Nations event, Brecel. Eight ranking quarter-final appearances, 5 semi-finals, 2 finals, and at the moment just the 1 title.
Ah, brilliant shot. Absolutely brilliant. And we was talking about bravery at the beginning of this match. And the boys in the studio were saying that both boys had got it. Well, you don't get much braver than that in a decider.
Well, I said he'd have to pull something out, and he did.
Still got that problem of trying to develop something and trying to get to the black. I'm not sure if he's got the angle to give something a nudge here. Easy enough to play for that open red. I'm saying easy enough. He's overhit it by a long way. I think he played for the red to the right middle. So 15 points from those good shots. Could have been match winners.
Luca Brecel 15.
So relief for Trump that Brecel wasn't able to muster more than 15, despite a couple of outstanding pots in that mini break. Brecel is actually leading pretty handsomely in all departments in this match. Pot success, long pot success, safety. But all that counts is the stat centre screen. Who's going to get to 4?
Well, he took a risk there, playing around the angles like that, as he did. Could have pushed something right over the corner and not quite got the cue ball as good as what he did, but it's paid off. He's taking the risks. He's got his man right under pressure here. Yeah, well played. Was in a bit of trouble there.
Touch him.
Well, that's done him a favour. He couldn't think of a safety there, Brecel. He certainly didn't want to leave it touching. But Trump's got to be very careful here not to leave a chance at the red that will go to the right corner. Looks good. Covered the red. And now Brecel with the problem. Can he be tempted? No.
2 hours we've been going now, perhaps rather longer than we might have anticipated at the start, but what a terrific tussle it's been.
Well, that's another good safety. Has he forced Brecel into taking the red on? There are options. He could come off the cushion, land up in the reds. Well, and he can see the reds to play safe off. I didn't think he could see the reds from where he was. Well played. Caught it too thin, but no damage done.
This frame has the makings of a lengthy nail biter. Ball's not ideally placed. A lot of pressure on both players to progress to the round of 16 this evening. Trump desperate to keep his title defence going. Brecel, it will be a real landmark win, I think, after somewhat disappointing couple of seasons. Kind of win that can really kickstart your career again as a serious threat in the biggest events. Zhao Jianbo is now 3-2 up on Igor Figueiredo. Winner of that to play Kurt Mafflin.
He could come off the side cushion, land up into the reds like that. Or he could play on the reds near the black cushion. Yeah, judged it well. He's going to be in trouble next shot though. Should be behind the green here. Well, I'm surprised he played the shot like that, because he could have left this red to the right corner behind the green. There's no chance of the pot at the red. That's the shot that he could have played. Don't mind your opponent going for these type of shots to the right corner with no guarantee of being on a colour or guarantee of the pot. I was just a little bit concerned there that he caught it too thick.
Foul, jump full.
Well, that's unfortunate. And he thought he was going to hit the blue, which would have been worse.
Foul. One.
Oh, that's an excellent pot. Lots of left-hand side on the cue ball to avoid the black. Always knew he could be on the brown. Oh, he potted the brown badly. And that's why he's not ideally on the red behind the pink.
Are we bound for Shredsville?
Well, it was never easy, but a chance. But by potting the brown badly, he made the red harder. the yellow just in the way. Pressing the cue ball. Similar type of shot to the last one. Lots of left-hand side on the cue ball. Another very good shot. Now, where's it going to finish? Again, that's so unfortunate, isn't it? You can play the snooker, but there's not much for it. You never know, though.
Just on point.
Easy enough to come off the left side cushion, land up to the reds. Shouldn't leave anything. You just never know.
Well, the blacks well and truly out of commission. A lot of the reds awkward. This has got a proper final frame feel about it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got a black ball finish, hasn't it? That's the type of feel. Well, had it just kissed the brown, he would have left a relatively easy red. As it is, it's awkward cueing. Another super shot from Trump.
Yes, he's done that quite a lot today. Been hampered with his cueing on a long ball, but still finding the pocket.
Yellow ball.
Another brave shot. Just avoided that middle pocket.
Three.
So gets another chance, but a very tough table.
Mind you, I don't think there's a better player in the game today at engineering, manufacturing a break out of nothing. Time it would be to do it.
As you said, he's manufactured something there. He's going to get fortunate. That's okay. Just needs to dolly the green in. He's got the red right over the pocket, and he's developed more reds. Played to hold the green spot, and that's a good shot because it's easier to disturb those three reds behind the green now. That's good thinking, that from Trump.
8.
Can't do it this time round, but other reds he can play for.
It was a very good red to get in with some awkward cueing, very missable. And in the space of a couple of shots, he made a very unpromising looking table look rather more inviting.
17.
Still plenty to do, but Trump once again threatening to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, it's important now he leaves an angle though. His colour to be able to disturb the reds maybe. dropping behind that red above the black. Maybe play the cannon to the black. Dropping behind it.
24.
Well, the yellow, he's got the angle to go at those three reds. Indeed, the red by the black. Options.
Jump 27. Well, it was a good 27, full of good shots, but the lead just 22. This match is still on a knife edge.
Another very good safety though from Brecel. Great shot.
59 remaining. Getting underway, John Higgins, who's looked outstandingly good so far this week, up against Matt Selt. First frame in its early stages there.
Well, that was an option that he could have played. But that's just as good, catching it full ball.
And the winner of that match will play Ding Junhui, who's also looked good this week. Ding with a very modest record in the home nations and hadn't won a match in this tournament before his first round victory, but he's been winning pretty comfortably, including a whitewash victory over Wan Sijun in the last 32. Just a reminder that at the conclusion of this match it'll be Ronnie O'Sullivan against Matthew Stevens. Who would have thought they'd have been waiting until around 4 o'clock or beyond local time on the table?
It's a big target, the brown and green. He's got the angle to try and get in behind them. This isn't far away. Not quite a snooker, but he doesn't really want to play off the three reds. Very risky to play that shot. Now, where's it going to finish? Can he cut it?
One.
Oh. That couldn't have worked out any better, especially if he's got the angle on the pink to disturb the reds. One of the reds will go. Let's have a look.
Seven.
29 points the lead. You know, he could be one shot away here from losing.
8.
The longest frame of the match, no great surprise. It's been a very tense affair, but Judd Trump now very close to having the last word. Anxious moments for that man who's given it everything and has reminded us of just how good he can be.
He was a little unfortunate there, wasn't he, Trump? He's developed both reds, but
13.
didn't quite land on a colour that could get him to the next red.
Well, this is match ball, barring snookers, to put him 36 in front with 35 on, but far from easy. And Brecel breathes again.
And he gets a chance, more importantly.
Missed a couple of frame balls in the second frame. That one was even more significant.
1.
He's got the angle on the green to be able to get to the red. Oh, didn't want the kiss. And he's pushed the green safe, the blue safe. So that will be very disappointing, and that will make him feel $1 million at the moment. Pushing a colour safe. So now he's got the blue and the black safe. Trump just didn't get into the cue ball enough on the green.
He's been put through the ringer this afternoon, Trump, but he remains the favourite to prevail right now. Of course, if he does win, he'll have to come back and do it all again this evening against Martin Gould, conqueror of Andy Hicks from 2 down with 3 to play earlier. And that is a calamitous error from Luca Brecel. He can smile about it, but that's a 6 smile.
Doesn't really want to move the black, but make sure of the red.
Which is match ball.
1.
A sigh of relief for Trump and his fans.
Yeah, in a horrible way for Brecel to lose the match. That was a big mistake, which has proved incredibly expensive. But it takes an awful lot to get the better of the world #1. Trump has not played especially well today, but he's dug deep, as he's so often done in recent times when he's not produced his A game, to find a way to win. He did it at the English Open on multiple occasions, and he's done it again today. He can win in all kinds of ways these days, Trump. The brilliance of the match against Gao Yang with the maximum. Today, he's had to scrap his way to the winning line from being pretty close to defeat.
16.
And so dreams of a 3rd successive Northern Ireland Open title very much alive.
16. Frame and a match. Judd Trump. Thanks, guys.
Luca Brecel concedes. What a fabulous match that was. Super intense, mighty tight, but Judd Trump has gone to the well and has come through as great players so often do. He's edged a thriller, 4-3.